We have learned a little bit about insurance, which is kind of a mystery of the universe, if nothing else. And so, one of the secrets we've learned is call Nessie's Auto rather than the recommended location that comes from your insurance carrier. And the summary of this whole discussion is because he can save you money and still work within the parameters of your insurance carrier, and also still provide things that they're not going to provide you unless you're already insured, such as towing, such as a ride to go pick up your rental car, and a few other niceties, just because he has great customer service. Is there anything I didn't throw in there?
No, pretty much you covered it pretty well. We're centrally located at 3420 North 27th Avenue here in Phoenix, just south of Indian School, north of Thomas. And, like we mentioned earlier, we specialize in collision repair. Also do the custom paint jobs and restorations.
Your website.
And you can always visit us at nessisauto.com, www.nessisauto.com. See some of our work. I always recommend just coming by, taking a look at what we've got going on. We've got some really, really cool projects from some 69 Camaros that we're restoring to some brand new restoration or collision repairs where a lot of people are like, that's not going to look the same, is it? And one of the big differences by coming to us versus one of the big shops is the personal touch that we do put on every vehicle. A test drive shouldn't be a 1 mile drive after the car's all put together in an assembly-like line, like a lot of these shops have. A test drive should be a 10 to 20 mile drive where you actually see the conditions of the road, how the vehicle responds, whether or not there's any wind noise, engine noise, things like that, whether the radio is working properly, your mirrors are adjusting right. We do that in every single vehicle that goes through a collision repair at our shop. A lot of the times I actually end up taking the car home for the night, making sure that it responds in the morning, that you're not left with a dead battery when you come to
Absolutely.
it. I'd rather be the one suffering than my customer. So that is one of the things that we do that, under the direct programs with the DRPs that the insurance company is going to refer you to, they simply can't. They're limited as to what they can do. If you have a scratch on a rear bumper and you have damage on the front, I will gladly touch it up. It's something that I do repeatedly, continuously, and I will continue to do for as long as I own my shop. And they, a lot of the time, can't do it. They're restricted by that insurance company to touch nothing more than what they charge for. Mm-hmm. So they can't throw anything, not necessarily that they don't want to. I'm not saying they're bad people or they do bad work, but because of that contract, because of the insurance limitations, they just can't do that. So a lot of the times, something that you could be like, well, they could have cleaned that up at the same time. It was there for however number of days. They don't do it. We make sure we do that kind of stuff. We put that personal touch into your auto repair, no matter what you need.
One other thing that I kind of want to end the show with is that there's not only great customer service, but there's a reason why Jessie is able to save you money at Nessie's Auto is through the same way he did us. I would definitely venture to say that there's thousands of dollars that he has been able to save my wife and I over the years, and the reason is that when, just one example among many, is that when the adjuster comes by and says, hey, we're only going to pay X, X, and X, because Jessie actually has a background in insurance. Now everybody, every auto body shop owner is going to say, hey, that doesn't seem right, that isn't fair, but they don't know why. So when it's not fair, all they can say is that's not fair. But Jessie can actually pull out the books and say, according to regulation, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And he backs them back in. Now, he never does anything that's wrong or untoward. He does it by regulation. So, he's doing everything by the book. But that's the point, is that when the adjuster is not doing it by the book, then he actually gets them back by the book, and there's been thousands of dollars that he's been able to save us, and we've just been very appreciative of that. So needless to say, Nessie's Auto and Jessie himself are on our trusted team. So you can go to bizgrowth.trustedteam.com. You'll be able to find Nessie's Auto on our trusted team. But also, because we're business to business, And Nessi's Auto is business to consumer. They actually have their own trusted team, and we at the Social Universe have been instrumental in helping them create their own trusted team. So let me give you a couple of examples. With Nessi's Auto being there in the kind of equidistant from all different parts of town, it's also important for him to be able to create good relationships with insurance companies, with the brokers. So we've been able to we just went by, and I won't say them all over the air until they get their airtime, but an insurance, a 6-location insurance company we were able to visit today, and they're very interested in getting on the trusted team. So these are kind of services that we can provide for those that are developing their own trusted teams. We also, there's a $25 million nonprofit company that targets the exact market that Nessi's Auto targets, that they get approached all the time by for-profits. How do we market with you? How do we get involved with you? Well, the best way to get anybody involved, in other words, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and you have that kind of a strategy. In other words, if you market someone, they'll market you. That's what Trusted Team is all about. And another example that I want to share before we end the show today is that while I was in Jesse's office and we were talking about creating his trusted team, because there's really 3 things that you should be thinking about when it comes to creating your own trusted team. First, you want to think, who refers business already to me? Second, you want to think about who is it that's around you? So geographically, who's close to you? And then the final thing is, who are the big influencers out there in the entire, whether it's Phoenix or Denver or Los Angeles, who are the major players that you would love to have on your trusted team? Think about all of those, put them on your trusted team. And while we're in there doing that, we actually, one of his own customers walked in, had a new business card, was picking up his car. We were able to put him on the trusted team. So again, thank you, Jessie, for coming on the show. And we appreciate the great work you've done for us and that you're about to do for a lot of our listeners.
Thank you for having me, and feel free, anybody that wants to, whether just talk about some collision repairs or anything like that, feel free to give me a call.
Wonderful. That number one more time.
602-396-2882.
Wonderful. And thank you for coming on the show. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your host of the Social Universe here on World Talk Radio and Voice America. We look forward to seeing all of you next week. And again, thanks for tuning in to the Social Universe here on World Talk Radio. Thank you.